Hello, my name's Denny, and this is my plant-based journey. And today I want to talk to you about a great experience that I had last night. I had the opportunity to listen to Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Thank you. It's a real delight to be here. I don't get to do this sort of thing often.
Thank you so much for coming, and I've personally really enjoyed your comments, and your perspective is unique. You've had a unique collection of experiences, and I appreciate you sharing those. Thank you very much.
And today I want to talk to you about a great experience that I had last night. I had the opportunity to listen to Dr. Sanjay Gupta make a lecture for the Midland College out here in West Texas, as he talked to us about health and our mindset and things along those lines. I don't know if you've ever heard Dr. Gupta. I know you've seen him. He is a CNN correspondent, but more than that, he's a neurosurgeon. And it was great to hear some things about his life and his family, his parents. It was great to hear about some of the things he's done for the country and going out to the war zones, going out to places where there's been natural disasters, and the work that he's done. And he's won some awards for that work. Just very impressive, the kind of attitude that he has about making a difference in this world. One of the stories that was impressive is, as a correspondent in Iraq, he had the opportunity to use his skills as a neurosurgeon to help someone who had been shot in the head and had some damage, and he was able to help them. And I can see that kind of care and concern in him, and you can hear it when he talks. And so it was very motivational, and I enjoyed it. Now, you may be asking, what kind of lecture did he present in West Texas? Well, one of the things that he did was talk about longevity. You know, people want to know, how can I live longer? What can I do to be healthier? And so he talked to us about many things that we can do, and he really talked about the brain and thinking and our brain function and how we can improve those things. One of the things that he talked about is brain hacks. And he shared with us 3 tips, 3 tricks, if you will, to help you with your health. One of them was from his work in Okinawa, the people that live past 100 years more than anyone else in the world. And when he went over to begin to talk to the people about why they live longer and were healthier, they described the process. And basically what it was is that they would eat until they're 80% full. Now, in our minds and in our bodies, when we eat, it takes about 15-20 minutes for the trigger in your brain to tell you that you're full. And so if you're a fast eater, like me, I'm a very fast eater. I try to go slow now, and I've been trying to focus on taking breaths and relaxing and putting the fork or spoon down, or talking for a minute between bites. But if you're eating fast, you may end up eating much too much food because you ate past that trigger. So their solution to that brain hack, is to eat till you're about 80% full and then stop. You know, one of the things that he talked about, brain hack number 2, is sometimes when you think you're hungry, you're really thirsty. So drink some water. Wait a few minutes and see how it goes. I know some people drink water before their meal so that they can satisfy that urge, and they will become full more quickly. But it's hard for us to distinguish between the two, so drink water. And then the third thing also was something that I found very interesting. Not only do we need to eat less by maybe saying I'm going to eat only 80%, but we can trick the mind, if you will, by putting the same amount of food on a smaller plate. And so we get this feeling that we've got a big plate full of food. And so when we eat it, we're satisfied. And so we've tricked our mind to eat less. And those are all good suggestions. And Try those and tell me what you think about them. Another one of the aspects of health that he talked about was how environment makes a difference and how simple changes to our environment can really help us. And to illustrate that, he went back to a study and a program that the military had when bringing home the men from Vietnam. Many of our soldiers were addicted to cocaine, a large number, and bringing them home was something that was fearful because recidivism, going back and relapsing, if you will, into doing the cocaine was something they feared would happen at a rate of about 80%. And so they put some programs in place trying to stop that. But when they got the boys home, what they found is only about 5% actually went back to the drugs. And the reason for that is their environment changed. They're no longer surrounded in a place where they're uncomfortable, where they're being shot at, where they're having to do things like shoot at someone else. A horrible situation. Getting out of that environment and coming home changed the environment enough that they didn't have those triggers to want those drugs. So for people like me who like to eat and we enjoy food and we eat too much, one of the things that he talked about is making simple changes like standing up when you eat. Or maybe you're going to eat something that's rich or hearty and you eat with your opposite hand. So if you're right-handed, you eat with your left hand, or something that changes your environment. If you have a trigger to sit in front of the TV and eat chips and popcorn and snacks and cookies and cake and ice cream, quit sitting in front of the TV to eat your food. Just make some simple changes to your environment and you'll see some changes in your health. And so those are all great tips and how your mind works with your health. One of the things that he talked about was how it's remarkably tough to get good quality education and information about health and about your diet. Most doctors don't have training on nutrition or health in medical school, and if they have any, it's very limited. And then you combine that with the fact that lobbyists and political power and things along that line sway much of what we do in this world, whether it's the medicines that are being sold or the type of foods that are readily available and things along those lines. It's hard to get quality information. And so sometimes that difficult information or that hard to reach information eludes us, but we can find that information, and that's one of the reasons why I started this channel. While I'm no expert on these things and I'm in my journey and I'm trying to grow and develop and learn, and it's a day-to-day battle, I wanted to help people who might look at this find some of that information. That's why I've talked to you about Dr. McDougall and Dr. Esselstyn and Furman and Ornish and there's just so many great doctors out there, Dr. Scott Stoll and others that are fighting to help people come to the truth about the foods that we eat. I hope that I'm able to help you along those lines, but just understand it's difficult and it's difficult for everyone. There's a lot of misinformation, but it's out there and we can find it, and the good news is it's becoming more and more available every day. One last thing I'll share with you is he talked about our brain function, and while that's not about our diet per se, our diet does affect our brain function. One of the things that people are very concerned about today is Alzheimer's, dementia, things along those lines, and we should be concerned. And how can we avoid those things? Well, again, eating a whole food plant-based diet will help that immensely. But another thing that we've learned is that training the brain is a good thing. Now, there's basically 3 ways that they examine to try to find out what's the best way to train the brain and have a long-lasting effect. That's what the speech was about, longevity and our brain and our health and things along those lines. So the first one is memory techniques. Do we learn memory techniques? Are we able to grow and develop our brain to the point that it lasts longer? The second one was instead of memory techniques, it's more about our reasoning ability, being able to understand and comprehend things. How would it affect us with longevity? And then the third one was about speed techniques. How can I get that point more quickly? How can I learn it? How can I see that trigger? How can I respond more quickly? And so all three of those avenues were studied, and in the end it was found out the thing that has the longest lasting effect is for you to learn how to process things more quickly. And there are tools for that, and he mentions some, and I'm sure you can research those things. But it was interesting that those who go through that type of training, where they speed up their ability to comprehend and think, it has an effect a decade down the road where they are 48% less likely, that they have less dementia than others who did not have this type of training. And so it's something I'm going to research, something that I hope I can implement in my life, because I certainly want to have mental clarity as time goes along. But, you know, when you talk about how can we improve our health, you know, certainly brain function is one of those things that we want to have. We wouldn't want to have a healthy body, but an unhealthy mind. We want to improve both of those. And so I really enjoyed the lecture. It helps us to understand our bodies more fully, and it helped to confirm the things that I've been studying about a whole food plant-based diet. You know, we want to have a great physical life. We want to have a great mental life, and I hope we are striving to have an emotional and spiritual life that is just as wholesome. You know, life is hard, and sometimes it kicks you in the teeth, and life can get very difficult. And so when I had an opportunity to go hear Dr. Gupta speak, I had to take it. And I hope that I'm able to hear even more of those types of programs as time goes along. Out here in this part of the world, it isn't always easy, but we're very blessed. In Midland, we have a hospital that's striving to help us be healthy. They're striving to teach people about a plant-based diet. They help bring in great speakers. We have the Food is Medicine program. Just some wonderful things that are going on, and I'm fortunate to have been here so that I can benefit from it. I'm very thankful for that, and I'm thankful for those people who helped to bring Dr. Gupta out here. You know, I don't have the financial ability to be able to call up Dr. Gupta and say, hey, I've got a few people I want you to talk to. Come on out, I'll pay for your way. I can't do that, but because of the generosity of people in this part of the world and their kindness, we have a speaker like him come, and it was uplifting. And so if he's in your part of the world, or people like him, or if you have time to go search it out on the internet and listen to some of his speeches, I think you'll be blessed in doing so. Now, if you have any questions about my time there, or if you have any questions about my journey, I'll be glad to answer those. Leave them in the comments below. And as always, like, if you will, and share it with your friends if you think it'll help them. My name is Denny. This is my plant-based journey, and we can improve our brains. We can do some exercise, and we can eat some whole food plants. You have a great day.